How advanced was medical technology during the dark age of technology? Who might have used what amongst the men of iron and stone? What eerily similar tech is used by the imperium of man? Friends, let's find out, and welcome to another 40k video. During the dark age, there are three types of people noted: men of gold, stone and iron, in that order. Some became rulers, some sparked the rebellion and decline of the Dark Age. For your context in reference to them, the men of gold, etc., I'm going to work through how I see each of them so it makes sense to you when I talk about the medical technology I'm going to associate them with. For the men of gold, they united Earth, they were or became masters of genetics, and once the human body could not go any further, they added bionics. And then with that, some became the men of stone. The stone men created a lot of advanced technology that helped mankind reach out into the stars. And mainly as a halfway house between the men of gold and the men of iron, I think they would be partly bionic and worked with the men of gold before taking over the role of leadership of humanity from them. And for a complete picture, the men of iron did menial tasks for mankind at first, and in the end defended mankind's empire's borders, and then turned on them for reasons unknown during these cybernetic revolts. The men of iron are pure AI, alive and aware, at that end point. Now let's look at the technology coming off that. We have a few examples from across the lore. It seems the men of gold cured humanity of any general issues. We have this excerpt from Demon Hammer to set the tone. Humanity's ancestors had medicines so powerful they could alter the body of their unborn children, protecting them against illness and age, so that they could live long lives, free of disease or infirmity. And they developed machines that could build anything they desired, machines that could think and learn. There was no need for work and toil. Men like you lived in luxury, with mechanical devices tending to their every need. Work, illness, oppression were bound to the past. This is from the mouth of a demon, by the way, so it might not be entirely honest. A great example of this further knowledge, confirming their mastery of genetics, is the Panacea STC, which contains an incredible amount of knowledge from the Dark Age. It's said it will heal human diseases and genetic flaws, all of them. Sadly, it's currently in the hands of the Dark Eldari, but reflects what was known still. Now altering the body of your unborn child sounds like the tampering of tiny machines, Nanites. So let's look at in-law examples where they are used, to see what they can do and how they do it. First we join Telok, a Magos, who led a fleet into the Halo stars to find a fabled weapon, the breath of the gods. During the long journey, he is injured, and we are told Telok's crystalline body shimmered with the nanotech coursing through him, self-replicating, self-repairing, and ever-evolving. The hand he had lost was already regrown, a gleaming, crystalline facsimile of his metallic gauntlet. So going back a hand or limb is a possibility. That speaks of knowledge of the human body and how to reconstruct it. There's also a device called the autosanguine. This ancient and blessed technology of the Mechanicus flows through the character's blood. These minuscule machines repair minor injuries and speed healing. That's more of what I think they could do, maybe for both the men of stone and gold. Could they be in the body all the time, fixing things, or could they be added to deal with minor injuries or issues? There was also further evidence within the Inquisitor's Handbook. As another departure from the frailties of the flesh, the infuser system replaces human blood and blood processing organs with a far more efficient biochemical serum, the most advanced forms of which contain legions of microscopic machines that can search out and repair damage on a cellular level with frightening speed. So Wolverine or a Primarch style healing there, but also replacing parts of the human body. Parts one for the men of stone, who I believe were part cybernetic and part flesh, like an advanced version of the Adeptus Mechanicus. There was also a bit of tech called the Paragon of Restoration. They were a advanced bionic enhancement made from fragments left of an AI from the Dark Age. So I'm thinking that crosses over between the men of stone and then making the men of iron. That might be a good time that would have been used. It was placed in a blood angel by a Magos called Arkan Land. He wanted to help repair Zephon's bionic limbs, as they were always rejected by the Blood Angel's body. The Dark Age of Technology device was placed in the Angel's arm and head, and this tricked the Blood Angel's body to accept the bionic limb, so not hanging around in the body repairing, but overriding the commands of the body, perhaps on a genetic level. Something like this could fit an injured member of the Men of Stone. There is a device known as the Heart of Iron. This relic from the Dark Age is a bionic. When used by Marines or perhaps in the Dark Age, genetically enhanced soldiers, it will wrap around the chest of the injured person, and from there it links to the organs with monofilament tendrils, and with that it will keep you alive, even with an almost life-ending injury. With a Space Marine, they regenerate better and can never tire. The downside being, if worn for a long time, they will drain all vitality from the wearer. It strikes me as something that could be used in the Dark Age to keep a critically injured person alive for a short period of time until a proper solution arrives. Let's say an infusion of nanites can be made. Men of Gold and Stone seem like good candidates. Perhaps Stone made it for the Warriors of Gold. The Leagues of Votann seem to have left early during the Dark Age, maybe as early as the Men of Gold being around. I think that as they have been engineered to operate and immune to a lot of the harmful effects of deep space travel, and also general humanity, around the time of the reveal of the Men of Stone first went into space, and so they might have used the next bit of tech to preserve people's lives and their health for later parts of the long, dangerous journey. And this feels like something I can imagine the Leagues of Votann using. From Rogue Trader into the Storm. The cold quarters. While the ship has regular quarters for its crew, the ship also has ranks of cryo-stasis tubes, filling its deep chambers. Here the captain stores surplus crew, until they are needed. So let me know what you think to the lore and theories presented in this video. What's your take on the Men of Stone and Gold? Why did the Men of Iron turn against humanity? Please give me your thoughts, and if you like this video on 40k, then why not try this one? And if you want a whole bunch of videos on Trench Crusade, there are 2 playlists on the channel. One has everything on there, the other is dedicated specifically to theories and ideas on the Dark Age of Technology. I also cover Trench Crusade a lot, which shares a lot of DNA with Warhammer 40,000. Historically, and to return one day is what I usually say, but this week in fact, I did a load of Dune videos, which also has its own playlist on the channel. Audio quality, it may vary, because that's one of the first subjects I started talking about. There's also a playlist for the Expanse books and TV series, most of the books, and a short playlist for the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio and Red Rising by Piers Brown. And if you're still listening to the end, thanks for staying till the end of the party. You can go home, sleep, rest, and feel better.